Hello, welcome to JUS 4407 Online Global Security. This is the week number 1 lecture on global security. Here's the agenda. First, we'll talk about the topic that we will go over in week number 1. We'll then talk about some of the key points from the lecture, similar to learning objectives. We'll then talk about the deadline for assignments this week, as well as the weekly discussion board, which is an integral part of the course. And lastly, some final thoughts and helpful hints. So again, welcome to week number 1. The topic this week is focusing on really trying to define what global security is and identifying some of the many different components which make up global security. Global meaning worldwide, and as you know, there's different aspects to security. With global security, it's a larger, it's larger in scope, obviously, and there are a lot of concerns on a global scale around security. One particular topic we're going to go into this course will be cyber crime and how global entities are exploiting and using cyber as a way to mitigate and to penetrate rather security. So we'll get into that in much more detail later in the course. So a couple of key points this week. Just in general, the study of global security, you can say it's a subset of the discipline of international relations. So think of this course as a course around security on a global scale, not just limited to one particular state, one particular nation. International relations has traditionally dominated the study of security and focused its inquiry primarily on military security. So you'll hear a lot about military threats. In fact, we're going to go into that in greater detail in week number 2. But I want you to understand that it's not just limited to military security when we look at global security. It's much, much broader than that. The end of the Cold War brought about a reappraisal in security studies since the scale of military threats had receded. So once the end of the Cold War occurred, there was a lessening on military threats, which kind of redirected security studies. But the fact that the Cold War brought about that change regarding military threats does not diminish the fact that there are other threats that comprise global security. Some contend that security studies should still be preoccupied with state security and military issues. I would disagree. As I mentioned earlier, we just can't think of this as a military threat or a military issue. Many more non-state security threats are out there, but it's important to begin the course with looking at military specifically. But many contend that security studies should favor extending the subject to incorporate non-military issues which affect the security of the state, which is what I just mentioned. So therefore, a deepening approach to security studies widens the range of issues to be considered, but also shifts the focus of the discipline to the security of people rather than of states, that is, human security. So we're going to go into great detail around human security as well. So the deadline this week is similar to every week, with the exception of the last week of class. All assignments are due by 11:59 on a Saturday. So our week begins, unfortunately this week we began on a Tuesday because of New Year's Day, but typically the course week or the course starting point is 12:01 on Sunday. But regardless of the start point, we always end our week with Saturday 11:59 for our deadline. And again, late assignments will not be accepted. Weekly discussion board. Again, this is how I view your performance and your attendance. as well as a spirited weekly discussion board is a great way for us to communicate. Because we're not in a classroom physically, it is our only means of communication. And just remember, the minimum of 3 responses as well as a citation as part of your response each week is what will get you that maximum grade. Best of luck as always this week. Best of luck to you all. I look forward to reading your weekly discussion board responses as well as your assignments. And by all means, if you have any issues or concerns or any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.